But I want joy to actually have a place tonight. You guys are really serious, and that's good. You guys have reverence for the Lord, but you guys are really serious sometimes. And that's not bad, but I want to give you freedom to be joyful tonight. That you guys can operate in joy. You guys can be joyful. You guys can actually have fun, because God's fun. Amen. Okay, so we're talking about community, and so I want to start out. I never start out with stories, but here's a story of when I thought community was stupid. I was in high school. I was in youth group, and I was just like, I saw like the group of dudes, and they were doing their thing, and I was like, yeah, that's just not me. I'm like, yeah, they're having fun. I can see it's good, but like, I can do my own thing. Like, I'm good by myself. And then basically that's really what I believed. I was like, I'm good with the people that I have in my life, and I don't need anyone else. And so then I come to college, to this place called Fort Wayne, Indiana, that no one ever hears about. Sorry. And I came here and I was like, I literally know no one. I mean, I knew like 2 or 3 people, but that was about it. And I come here and I realize I'm away from everything I've known, the foundation, the youth group, everything that like allowed me to grow spiritually. And so in that moment, within actually like the first 2 months, it was by October, I was like, wow, I was so utterly wrong. I need community. I need people around me. And so what ended up happening, literally, and this was like, I tell you this was literally just to like make it through and to have a good day, was that like, basically what I would do is that since I had nothing to do in the evening, I would just go to the chapel all night. And I would just spend most of my evenings there. And like, that was how I really like made it through, is that I just began to develop this relationship with the Lord, which was foundational and crucial. And I believe the Lord really loved those months that I had there, where I like just went to the chapel every single evening. But I was deprived of community, of people around me that are encouraging, that are uplifting, that are wanting me to go farther than I have been. And it's actually like a really kind of funny, sad story of how I found community, which is at Grace Morris. She was in the same dorm as me at St. Francis, and basically she was like, Paul has no friends. Let me invite him to one of my soccer games. And I was like, I showed up. I met Emily a couple times before that, Damascus, but like there I met Emily, I met Alyssa, I met all these different people, and Will I met the summer before that, but he was in Purdue, so he doesn't count. No, he was literally gone. So I found these people, and really what happened is that I got plugged into a community of people that wanted my good, and that wanted the good of the people around them, and that they were actually willing to sacrifice to see me thrive, right? And that's the beauty of what authentic community is that they're actually after your good, right? It's not this, just because you come here doesn't mean you're part of a community. Ouch. What I mean by that is we can come to the function and not actually be involved in a community of people or a group of people that are willing my good and that are willing to sacrifice for me. Right? So just because I go to some event doesn't mean just because you go to church on Sunday doesn't mean you're actually part of the parish community. It's not enough. You actually need to be invested in each other. And so that's what I kind of want to tell you. And we're going to go a couple places. I'm going to tell you what the enemy tries to do within community. I'm going to tell you how we ought to live within community and the glory that is found in there. And so it's our desire to be seen, known, loved, to belong, to have support. And this is why we have community. This is why we have the people around us. They're actually there to give us this. That's literally the function of community. It's the foundation for which we do Christian life. Jesus established the church not for individuals, but for a group of people. Right? He didn't. I've been holding this, but I haven't. Thanks. Yeah, water. Yeah, give it up for water. Like Jesus established the church to be a group of people. Like, not so that I could live my individual spiritual life, but that I could live my relationship with Jesus amongst a group, amongst people. And when we deprive ourselves of that relationship with each other, that's where people start to go off the chain. They start to get weird. It's the group of people that actually keep us in line in the right direction. And it's the fully seen, it's fully known, it's fully loved. Like, this is the desire of our hearts. And it's actually a shame that it's sometimes not met by the people who love Jesus the most. That within this context, in this room, we actually might be hurt by people who are in this room. We actually might have grievances with some people in this room. And I think the Lord wants to redeem those tonight. The Lord wants to bring, I think, healing and love, so that you can be fully loved by the people around you, by the Lord himself. That people could come in here and that what they would experience is just an outflow of love. Like they're known, they're wanted, they're desired. So I'm in this Christian marriage and family class as I'm preparing for marriage, so it's quite fitting, but it's for my school. Yeah, marriage. Go live it up for marriage. We love it. We love it. And basically, we're learning just about how the family is in this modern era and how it was in the past. And so if I've come to learn anything from this class, is that pre-industrial family life was the move. I mean, you grew up in a multi-generational family, so you had grandparents, aunts, uncles, all living in the same area. You had a life together that was a culture. Like, you were literally surrounded by people around you that supported you, that gave you what you needed, that if anyone struggled, it was on another family member to help them. So this is this society in which family life really was about for basically forever until the past few centuries. Past couple, and basically with the development of the nuclear family in the 1930s, basically you had this period where it went really well. We're separating from grandparents, aunts, uncles, and 2 parents, 2.5 kids, and a dog, and a white picket fence was the dream, and it worked for a little bit. And then divorce rates skyrocketed. And I think that's so interesting, because as we become more individualized, as we become more separated, things actually get worse. Oh my gosh, who would have known? Like, this is why we need community. This is why we need people around us, because they're actually the ones that encourage and support us. Did any of you guys grow up in like a neighborhood where, like, if you ran out of butter, you could go to your neighbor and you would be able to just ask them for butter? Raise your hand if that's a neighborhood. Those are the neighbors. Like, those are the best. I want to get back to those. Like, thank you. Me and Will are going to live next to each other. Yeah, give it up for that. But now we literally have this American society in which everything is individualized, where I don't have to go to the gym if I want to work out. I don't have to go to the theaters if I want to watch a movie. I don't have to get on a train if I want to go somewhere far. It's like the reality that if I want something, I can actually bring it into my home, and I don't have to interact with those around me. It's the isolation that's breaking apart our society and our culture. And what's the answer? It's actually integration. It's unity. It's God's answer. There's no longer dependence on another. The breakdown of meaningful relationships begin in this American society. And I think it's no surprise. I think it's related that mental health issues skyrocket. Like, people actually get more anxious if they're more alone. And I think isolation is what the enemy does. Because the enemy steals, kills, and destroys. He steals friendships. He destroys connection. He kills relationships. The second sin of man after pride in the garden was the murder of a brother. The enemy is after attacking relationships. He's after ripping apart families. And what I want is if we're aware of the enemy's tactics, we can actually go on the offensive and be a community that is integrated, that's in unity, that loves each other and loves the Lord. And I think the main thing that breeds isolation, which is what we've established is an issue, is shame. Shame breeds isolation. And isolation breeds bitterness and resentment. These things are the darts of the evil one. The darts that break friendships, relationships, and connection. Shame is the way that the enemy is going to keep you from moving forward. When we're covered in this shame of maybe our past, or maybe of not being like that guy, or maybe not being like that girl, or being like this or that, or it's basically we're covered in shame, and that separates us from each other. Then there becomes distance between us. And so then it becomes, when someone asks you how your prayer life is, it's no longer, actually, it's no longer, hey, it's bad. It's going good. It's no longer like if I have a relationship with my boyfriend and girlfriend, it's no longer, how's your relationship going? Oh yeah, it's going good. It's not actually, it's struggling. Oh my gosh. Do not worship in this spot. Cap on. No cap. Back to it. If someone asks me how my life is going, I'm going to say it's good and actually not be vulnerable and tell them how it's going. Shame about my circumstances keeps me isolated. I can touch someone with a 6-foot pole. I don't need to actually be vulnerable and allow myself to know them. So instead of bringing these things to light where Jesus can touch them and heal them, we keep it hidden far, far away so that no one has to see that ugliness. Because if anyone knew how ugly my life really was, they would actually turn away from me, and they wouldn't love me. This is the lie that the enemy actually feeds every single one of us, to keep ourselves isolated. But the truth is, when we bring it to light, he's actually able to heal it. He's able to redeem it. He's able to bring his love and his mercy there. I guarantee you, if you bring something up that's actually you're struggling with in this community, 99%, I really believe that they're not going to turn away from you, and they're actually going to find ways to help you. Because what we're saying here is that, hey, I'm bringing myself to you. I'm actually being vulnerable with my vulnerability. I'm allowing myself to be wounded so that I can actually grow, so that I can actually get better. And God wants to release you guys from shame today by being vulnerable. So I want you to stand up. Okay, so turn. This is a little bit vulnerable. This is a little bit tough. But I want you to stand up and turn to someone you didn't come with. Oh, yeah, you just heard that? Oh my gosh. Hey, thank you so much. You guys all gasped at that. Someone you didn't come with, preferably same gender. But if not possible, that's okay. And this is all about relying on each other. That I used to think that if I had to rely on a brother or a sister, it actually meant that I was weak. That if I was actually strong enough, I could rely on it myself, and I could come to Jesus with it, and that's promise. And I think that's where a lot of us find ourselves, that we're fine going to Jesus to it, but if we have to go to another person, we don't want to do that. But the reality is that he wants us to go to each other, and he wants to work through each other to bring you freedom. And the reality is I used to think is weakness. And now I understand that it is weakness. And that's the actual good part, is that you have to recognize that I'm weak and I need help. It doesn't even have to be sin. It doesn't have to be a huge deal. It's just recognizing our own weakness and our own failures and saying, I actually need help here. And so you're going to turn to the person. You're going to share with them one thing you're struggling with. And I don't want this to be like, my test on Monday. Oh, you guys don't have school on Monday. My test on Wednesday. Not that. I want you to actually, something that's weighing on your heart. You guys are free to do that.
Absolutely on point. Just at some point, like oversharing.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, switch if you haven't switched already. Oh, sorry. And begin wrapping up. I just want to say the Lord is redeeming stories. He's really healing relationships. He's bringing freedom to souls. Like it's in being vulnerable with each other that he can actually move in our life. And that there's the reality of being prudent, right? So like when we share these things with our life, we don't want to share like everything. We don't want to share them like if you just go up to somebody and be like, no, and they're just like, whoa, okay? Like there's prudence in when and how we share. We're prudently in who we're telling things to and when. But it's coming to each other in weakness and trembling and saying, I need help. I need prayer. Right? And this is how we move forward. And what we're going to do is that we're going to break into our small groups in this moment. And we're doing prayer ministry with our small groups. Saying, this is what I need prayer for. This is how I need for the Lord to work in our life. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to stay in this room or maybe in the fireplace room as we do prayer ministry. Spending around, we have around 30 minutes or less to pray for the whole group. So it's not going to be super long, but the Lord is able to work. There's the timer. So I'm going to stop talking. If you're finished before then, small group. But get into your small groups and head into prayer ministry.